Today, my wife is telling me that she noticed a check engine light is lit on the dashboard, and she also noticed that the temperature gauge is not pointing to the middle. Rather, it's a little bit cooler than the middle value. Let me show you what I mean. See, you hear that ding noise, and this engine light is staying on. And obviously, this is just started, so it's still cold. But after even, let's say, a few hours, this needle is still not pointing right in the middle. It used to be pointing right in the middle, but ever since this check engine light is on, it only points left to the middle side. So basically, I googled the YouTube and I found most likely this is due to thermostat stays open, so the coolant start to go to the external circulation route and never get hot enough. To check for that, I have this blue driver scanner. Basically, I can plug into the port beneath the leg room. Let me show you real quick. So this is a port we need to plug in. And this thing is connected to the phone by Bluetooth. So first, let me turn on the Bluetooth. And second, go to the amp, tap on the blue driver, and if I click read code, and you can choose check engine light. Now it says when confirm the code, basically P0128. And with this code number, you can go to the YouTube, search for the fix for the P0128 problem. But here it even tells you this is a coolant thermostat issue, and in the parentheses it says coolant temperature below thermostat regulating temperature. And if you click in, it says this code is common on this type of car. And it says top reported fix is replace the engine coolant thermostat. Even has the Amazon icon here. If you click, it can direct you to a web page to place the order. I'm pretty sure this is thermostat is bad because it's about 5-6 years old car, and the thermostat might have gone bad, and plus this is a very common issue for this model. So I'm going to swap it out. Next, let's pop up the hood and locate the thermostat. So first you find this radiator upper hose, and you follow a light, and it goes down. Here it's a little bit dark. Let me turn the light a little bit. And if you go further down there, see down the big hose, and there with a clamp, and this is a clamp of the upper hose, and the end, this thing is the thermostat we need to swap out. So if you back out a little bit, you will see this place is quite crowded. There's not much free room to move things around. So I searched on the YouTube, and there are some very good videos. They actually have a special clamp. So basically it has a long cable between two parts. The one part is you use a hand to squeeze, and the other part is a claw. So basically you squeeze here, and the force is transferred by the cable to the final end. So basically you put this claw, the clamp, to that hose clamp, and you squeeze this end, that will also squeeze, then you can lose that part. So I did not buy that one because I don't do this very often, so I don't want to spend a one-time investment on a clamp like that. So I'm trying to use a very basic tools to get the job done. So the first thing, I need to remove all this few like air box and this thing. So to move the air box, you need to loosen the clamp here with the flat screwdriver. After you loosen up, then just pop it out like that. Next, you also need to disconnect this hose. You just pop it out. Okay, now this is standalone. You want to move the whole thing out. Next, you want to move this power steering fluid container by loosening this nut here. This is a 1/2 inch adapter. I like to put the nut right back to the stud. This way I won't lose it. This is a good habit, by the way. Now this is flexible, so it will give us more free room to play with. Next, you need to put a big container on the car to receive the coolant, because once you remove the thermostat out of this route, the coolant will gush out. So put this on the car. Before I move to the next step to take off the broken thermostat, I want to get the new one. Take a look how it is installed. So this is a new one I ordered from Amazon. It only cost me about $14. So this is a hose that goes to here, and if you look here, you see actually only 2 places for the screws. One to the top, one is the bottom. So next step is to remove that 2 screws off the thermostat. So this time it is a 1332 adapter. Due to the limited room, and it's very difficult to film with one hand and unscrew with only one hand, so I'm not going to film this process, but you get the idea. You just reach your hand down and loosen that 2 nuts. It's not that difficult. One is out. Because of this very crowded space, so it's actually time consuming to take this out, so you gotta be patient. Second is out. Now since both screws are loose, next step is to remove the thermostat out of this housing. I already have a basin receiving the coolant on the car, so I'm not worrying about that. Let's see. Oh, surprisingly, there's not much coolant coming out when I remove this off the housing. So probably when I loosen the screws, the coolant has already leaked out. But anyway, let's check out of the car. Yeah, it's still coming down, but not by much. That's not bad. So that's good. So I don't need to add more afterward. Next step, the thermostat is off the housing, so I can move this thing up, because this hose is rubber hose, soft, so you don't worry about it being kinked or something. You just lift it up. So now this clamp is very easy to access. I can use a regular plier to remove this hose. Now I will use a regular plier like this to remove that hose clamp. Okay, now this clamp is completely off the stem, so I just gently rotate around to get it off the hose, and tuck the hose here to make sure it doesn't leak out completely. Next, I want to compare these two side by side before I install it. So to make sure the size and other specs are similar. So as we can see, they are exactly the same. Good. To put this new one on, it's just reverse order of taking everything off. So first thing, I'm gonna put this one into the hose. By the way, if you do not know how deep that hose should go onto this stem, it has wings on both sides. So you can just push that hose up flush with these two wings. So what I'm going to do is I just try to make sure it's like sideways 90 degrees this way. Then the next step is to put this clamp on here while I'm still here, because once it's down there, I don't have that special clamp to put this on. That's the whole purpose of this taking everything off. I end up using this a little bit special clamp like this. It's adjustable opening, so this is much easier. Okay, good. Now it's in its original position. Next step, so put these two bolts through the hose and then target below to install into this housing. Next, you want to add more fresh coolant to the system because you just lost some when you take off that thermostat. So the way to add it is you just add through this pot. To open this pressure cap, you need to press it down and keep rotating until it's loose, then you take it up. Next, you find the coolant is pre-mixed, it's 50-50. It says do not add water, and more important, it says for all makes and models, and mix with any color and freeze. So this is safe. Keep ending until you see it tops out, and you will notice that the bubble is coming out because there are some air trapped in this part of the hose. This process will bleed part of the air out of the hose, but it will not bleed completely. So what you need to do is two things. One thing, if you check the old thermostat and you notice this is a bleed valve, you need to unscrew this. The liquid will leak out of here. That's what I'm going to do now. Once you lose that bleed valve, then keep adding the coolant until there's coolant coming out of that bleed valve and it's continuous flow but not bubbles. This process could take quite a few minutes, so while you're waiting on this, you can put back the power steering wheel fluid container and the air box. So I just put back the air box and this power steering wheel fluid container, tighten the screw up. Step one only bleed part of the air, so the next step is go ahead and start the engine. So when you stop the engine, the coolant is going down, so you keep adding more. So after a while, if the level still does not go down, so at this point you might want to put the cap back on, but do not go full tight yet. Just latch it on. It doesn't come off, but it's not fully airtight. So this way you say still continue to bleed if there's any air here. Let it run like this for another about 10 minutes to make sure the thermostat valve is open and external circulation starts. After running for about 15 minutes, the temperature finally gets to the middle, so which is supposed to be. From this angle, it looks a little bit off, but actually it's the angle problem. if you look from the front, then it actually is dead on that middle sign. However, this check engine sign is still there, but that has to be deleted by that scan tool. I will do it next. So to clear the code, I need to use this scanner tool again. Again, plug in this port down below the leg room. Then again, connect the blue driver. Read the code again. Check engine light. Continue. Okay, so it's still there. So what you need to do is now need to clear confirm the code. Click OK. Okay, now the 0 confirm the code and 0 pending code. That's good. So next, I'm going to drive the car for a few miles and come back to see if that code comes back or it will be gone. So I just drove a few miles, and now the temperature needle is dead on that middle point, and I don't see any check engine light sign here. So I also check with the scanner too, and there's no confirm the code or store the code anymore. So this does solve the problem. Of course, you want to top up the fluid in the reservoir jar, then this job is done. And this whole process took me about 1 to 2 hours while I'm filming. And this is the first time I'm doing this type of job, so it took me a little bit longer. So if you are quite handy and you have done other jobs before, and if you are not filming, it probably will take you about 30 minutes to 1 hour top. And there's no special tools required, as I showed you. It's just a plier and a screwdriver and some regular socket and a wrench. So that's it. No special tools required for this job. And if I can do it, I'm pretty sure you guys can do it too. This probably will save us anywhere between $100 to $200. The only cost is the replacement part is like $14 or so. It is on Amazon. I can put the link down below if you like. And you might need to buy a few gallons of that coolant. You want to buy that universal one, which you can mix with any type of, any module, any color. That way you are rest assured you will not damage anything.